Up next, we want to hear about Good Hope Federation. So Edwin Joschican. I've got you. Thank you.
Just before they take the stage, I want to make you again, why do circular economies matter? One day I was sitting at a bar, and the owner of the bar's brother comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, did you hear about Bitcoin Watershed?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but what are you talking about?" He's like, "Today I opened my Google, and the first article on there was Bitcoin Watershed in South Africa." So again, that man didn't want to listen to me about Bitcoin, but when he saw the article, he said, "Oh, maybe Okan's not lying." So please let's hear about the Good Hope Federation. Good Hope Federation. There we go. Would you like this one or?
I would take this one, yeah. Okay. How does this clicker work, though? Can I get the slides? I'm with Fedimint, actually, not Fedi. There's a difference. Yeah, Fedimint is the open source project, Fedi the company that uses it internally. Yeah. Guys, what about the slides? Here we go. Okay, maybe show of hands, so I know where we start. Like, who here has heard about Fedimint or like knows what it is? Handful of people, actually. So, yeah, I'll give a short intro then. So the current problem that we have here is that the services that most of the people use here are custodial, meaning they are centralized and you have basically zero privacy. The custodian of yours knows your entire transaction history, and of course your balance, which especially in South Africa can pose a personal risk. Right now, most of that is outsourced to El Salvador, so the control over your funds is not even in your own country. It's maybe better for privacy in your situation, but at least for decentralization, it's not great. So, you know, we had a history of people building like non-custodial Lightning wallets, et cetera, but they have like issues around inbound liquidity and so forth, so they just don't, like non-custodial wallets just don't provide the user experience that you need here, especially if you have volume, so if you're like a power user or like run a business on it. So the Fedimint project has been trying to improve on custodial technology, especially enabling like communities like yours to take control of their own funds, yeah, in a way that is so accessible that people that have low technical knowledge can run a very reliable server and can take custody of like multiple bitcoins of funds in a secure way, without having the deep technical knowledge. So yeah, that's what the Fedimint project is trying to do. We've been on this for like 3 years, but like recently made some bigger breakthroughs to really make that possible. So yeah, the concept is that a handful of members in circular economy, at least 4, each of them will run a server in their own home. Those servers, they will connect and they will like form a shared system. So for the members of that community that use it, it just looks like it's practically a bank. Yeah, the wallet that you will use to connect to it works pretty much like your Blink wallet, but the custody will be with the 4 people in your community or more, like 4 or more people. And the custody will be with those servers at their home. So you're completely independent of like outside services, and your community will be like financially sovereign. Furthermore, we employ a privacy technology called eCash, making the whole system very private. So even if your like neighbors and friends custody your Bitcoin for you, they cannot see your transaction history or your balance at all. It is practically impossible to infer like any important information from that. So it's a very unique trust relationship that you have because you trust a group of people. So if it's 4 people, we essentially have a 3 out of 4 multi-sig on-chain. Who here doesn't know what a multi-sig on-chain is? Show of hands. Multi-sig on-chain, guys. If you know, please show your hands. Yeah. Okay. I thought like no one here knows what a multi-sig is. I was like, kind of giving up. Okay. Yeah. So those 4 servers, they will form like a 3 out of 4 multi-sig on-chain. If you have 7 servers, it will be a 5 out of 7 multi-sig on-chain. Yeah. And the private keys for that never leave the servers that you run at home. And yeah, as I said, the trust relationship is kind of unique. You trust a group of people with your funds, but you don't trust them with your privacy. And they have no idea if you even use the system, how many people are using the system. The only thing they can really tell is like, today 50 transactions happened, and the total custody, the total fund that we custody is like 1 Bitcoin or whatever. That's practically all they know. So can't correlate it to any individual whatsoever. To run those servers, you have like 3 good deployment options. You can run them on Umbrel, you can run them on Start9, and you can run them on Docker. Who here knows what like Umbrel and Start9 are? Show of hands if you know what that is. Okay, who has one? Oh, that's pretty good. So those are like Umbrel and Start9 are like tiny little computers that you can buy. You just plug them in your Wi-Fi router, and then you get like a graphic dashboard. You have basically an app store there. You look for the Fediment app, you install it, do a bit of setup, and then you can set up a federation. That's what we call this, like banks. Docker is a bit more involved. It's for the technical people. Who here knows what Docker is? Yeah, okay. So you can run this as a single container, and you don't need to configure DNS whatsoever. So you just spin this up, set a few environment variables, and you can good to go. So it's basically as easy to deploy as it gets for Docker. Yeah, we have a new wallet that I want to show here. This is kind of what it looks like. So very familiar wallet experience. You know, you get your payment history. You can scan Lightning invoices. You can create Lightning invoices. You have an LN URL. You can also make Bitcoin payments and create addresses, of course. And you can also make eCash payments, which are extremely private and internal to the federation. So Lightning and Bitcoin to connect with the larger world, and also, of course, internally. And with people that use the same federation, or AKA like community bank as you do, you can also make internal eCash payments, which have very good UX. Yeah. So now it becomes a bit interactive, actually, because you will be downloading this client from the Play Store, which it's now in, and then actually join the federation. Oh no, actually, we have to introduce it first. So we've been running a federation for 2 months here in South Africa. And as I said, you need at least 4 people. So our 4 people are Herman from Bitcoin Ikazi, Edwin from Bitcoin Whitsand, then it's Glenn from Bitcoin Ubuntu, I think, who you saw earlier, and then it's Bitcoin Sedgefield. I don't know if they're here. Met them yet. Yeah. So yeah, they are all running on Start9s at their home. Yeah, either like one of them has like this typical horrible South African internet connection, but the system still works fine. We set it up 2 months ago. It's been running ever since. As a Guardian, you only need to set it up once, and then the rest is like basically completely automated. You don't have to run a Lightning node. Someone else can do it for you in a trustless manner. So you don't have to do, as a Guardian, you don't have to do any liquidity management whatsoever. It's like, it took those 4 people, it took them like 10 minutes to set it up, and they've basically done nothing ever since. I've been living in Whitsand for 2 months with Edwin. Both of us have been using this, the app that you saw earlier, Conduit, as like a daily driver. And yeah, it works extremely reliably. So I don't even take a second payment option anymore if I go for gas or something. I just rely on it. Honestly, it works so well. I'm a bit surprised myself. Yeah, if you absolutely build that stuff, it's like you just don't expect it to work. But yeah, so now we're gonna like join you guys onto this. So you will be needing those two QR codes. Scan the left one. You will go to a page where you can get a link to the Play Store and then download the app. Yeah. And then you need to join the federation. And once you've done that, we're going to be handing out some free money. So look forward to that. Yeah. In the meantime, I think Edwin can speak on his experience.
I think when developers speak to us, we don't always trust them when they say it's easy. So, like Joshua says, it really just works. Like what you need to figure out, and I just want to first say, like the technology is ready. We need to start moving people over to privacy-first technologies. There's no reason to trust anybody with your information, and yeah. So the biggest obstacle at the moment is find three friends or family members or whatever. Start small, run a federation, and then grow from there. It's I think the experience is going to be incredible. The app that Joshua is, well, it's pretty much finished already, but he's also adding some more features as it goes along. But it's pleb friendly. It's not a developer thing. I mean, it's not focused on developers. It makes it easy to just do payments, and that's kind of what we want to do. We don't want to see all the heavy lifting in the background. So the technology is ready. Just start playing around. And if you have any questions about setting up a federation, obviously you can speak to Fediment or Fedi, or if you want to give me a call and run through it, it really is that easy.
Yeah, so there will be a workshop on the same topic, also how to run it on Start 9 tomorrow. It's a bit of a longer format here. Right now I'm just glossing through. Once you've downloaded the app from the Play Store, there's a scan button in the top right corner. You needed to scan the invite code on the right side, the Good Hope code, which has been generated by the Guardians. This will allow you to connect to their federation and start using them as a service. Yeah, and once you've done this, please talk to Edwin for like a paper eCash note, which is going to be your first 1,000 sats that you can then like use here to spend. Yeah. That's it. Thank you. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks, Joschican. Thanks, Edwin. Got a question. We don't have much time. Yeah, so many questions. Quick one. Let's go here, sir.
You mentioned at the beginning Fedi versus Fediment. What's the difference in 2 seconds?
Fediment is an open source project, and we do all the infrastructure and heavy lifting. I'm personally founded by Spiral, such as other developers. OpenSets also contributes one. And so far, we only did like the low-level infrastructure, and we didn't do an app. That was the purpose of one of the purposes of Fedi, the company. We've been doing it for like 2 years. It's like our most known client, which is called the same, it's called Fedi. And they use like the low-level library that we write to actually make a graphical app. Now we make those apps themselves. Conduit is one of the first. It's the first one to be in the Play Store, and soon to be in the App Store as well. Hopefully by the end of this conference, it will be in the Apple App Store. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, thank you. Ellie?
So I've downloaded a lot of Lightning wallets onto my phone. I'm not a developer and I'm not really tech savvy, all of those things. I just want you to flesh out a little bit, what's the difference here? I feel like because you know the answer, it wasn't really explained. So if you could just explain the difference between this and one of my other Lightning apps on my phone.
Okay, well, the biggest difference would be it's extremely private. Yeah. Not talking loud enough. So, biggest difference here, it's extremely private. No one can see your balances, and you will be custodying your funds with, like, in this case, Edwin, Herman, and 2 other people that you know. So it looks the same, but you're in a very different situation. And your community as such, when people do it, when people like in your community use the system, will be sovereign. Yeah, you can't be shut down at any time, which is currently the situation. Yeah. So the purpose of it, like when you have the app, the purpose of it is actually to feel very similar to what you already have, but in the background there's a big difference. Yeah.
I just want to say, I don't know if you said this loud enough, but so please don't keep large amounts of money on our federation. This is just for testing. You can use it for like the weekend and just go and buy some coffee or something. But after the conference, please move your money off and start your own federations or don't use this for large amounts of money, especially if you don't know the Guardians personally.
That was it. Herman, did you want to add one more, a little bit?
I'm quite interested in the eCash being able to be sent back and forth offline, and I'm not technical enough to explain it to people. Can you say something about that for 1 or 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure thing. So the eCash payments that you can make when you're in the same federation, they work very differently than how you're used to, like Lightning and on-chain Bitcoin. And one of the advantages of them are that you can make the sender can make an offline payment. Yeah, so if you don't happen to have internet right now, in like 80 or 90% of the cases, you can make the payment anyways, and you can set them up. Yeah, so that makes it much more reliable, which is great, especially in a situation like South Africa where you don't have great internet like all the time. Yeah.
That's a very important one, the lacking internet in South Africa. There's lots of things that I think in the perceived global West they take for granted, and internet speeds is one of them. And how that actually impacts things like running a node and running servers and trying to keep uptime and so on. Provides some challenges that are unique to our environment, right? So thanks very much, guys, for showing us this. And you said the workshop is tomorrow? Got you. So we'll just take the programs, those of us who want to attend there. Wonderful. On to the next.
That was awesome. Can we get a round of applause for those gentlemen?